Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Maya McCall, and as you can tell by the name of this video, today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about how I was able to get my radio show at Howard University, and then a few tips so that hopefully you can use that to get a show and then host a successful show.
A lot of snow, but the
Before we get into the details of the radio show, I would like to encourage you all to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting new content every single Wednesday. I promise. Every single Wednesday, there's going to be new content, whether it be talking about starting a business or starting a podcast or things you can do at college, different internships you can land, talking about TV news, a lot of different stuff. So I heavily encourage you all to subscribe, and I would really appreciate it if you do. At Howard University, we have a radio station, and it is WHBC 96.3 HD3. Okay, did not mess it up that time. So essentially how I was able to get my radio show is our radio station, they have a casting call at the beginning of each year. I actually auditioned for a radio show my sophomore year of college. When you do that, you fill out an application and then you have to record a drop. They give you a script of what you have to say and then you just record it, and I did that, I submitted it. I was invited to the first round of interviews. So I went in, met some people, and it was a couple of people interviewing me. And then the second time, it was a group interview. So it was me and some other people, and we did a test show. But unfortunately, I did not make it that year, and I really thought I was going to make it. So my little heart was crushed. But I think that ended up being better because I had another internship that semester, and I wouldn't have really been able to dedicate a lot of time to it since I was so young. Fast forward to senior year, and I had the mindset of it's now or never. This is something I've been wanting to do. I didn't make it sophomore year. I'm about to get out of here, so I'm ready for this show. So I went into the auditions. I filled out the application. I recorded my drop again. I got the interview. I went in, did that interview, went in a second time, did the group interview and the test show, and then they called me and they said, hey, we're gonna give you a show. So I was super excited, and I was even more excited actually because the show that I got, I had 3 co-hosts, and that took a lot of pressure off of me just because I still was interning senior year. So I didn't want to intern and then be involved in these other clubs and then not be able to fully commit to the radio show. I had 3 co-hosts. 2 of them I knew, 1 I did not know, but these ended up being my girls. We had so much fun brainstorming ideas for the show, and since we controlled the topics, we would talk about basically any and everything, and it was kind of like a girls chat, and I just loved being able to bond with them. Essentially, we were looking at all of the current events and everything that was going on in the world from the perspective of senior college students. And I want to specify the senior because when you're a senior versus when you're a freshman, you're completely different, you have a different mindset. So all 4 of us were seniors. We were able to talk about what it's like freshman year, what it's like joining a certain organization, or what it's like interning, or even there's a lot of other stuff that goes on in the world that you look at differently when you're 22 versus when you're 18. I think one of the ways I was able to get the show would be the way in which I presented myself to them during the auditions, and that would just be I kind of emphasized my love for media and being on air. I tailored my resume to the radio station. So I talked about all of the other media-related internships I had, the media-related clubs I was involved in, the media-related organizations that I had once been a part of or volunteered for. And so with that, when they were looking at my resume, you see, oh, she wants to be on camera, she's a broadcast journalism major, she's heavy into the School of Communication, and then it kind of makes you think, well, yeah, she probably should be a part of the radio station. So I think one of the things that definitely helped was tailoring my resume for media. And then I would say the second thing is presenting myself as someone who's super passionate about media, because I am. I like telling people stories, but I think this radio opportunity was nice because I was given the ability to tell my story. So that was awesome. Another tip would be to practice your drop and then listen to it. So when they send out the script, I read the script once and then I'm like, okay, cool. Let me highlight words that I want to emphasize. For instance, if I wanted to stress the #1 college radio station, I would highlight #1 so that in my mind, as I'm reading it, I know, okay, I want to emphasize this. I think that definitely helps because when they listen to it, they'll hear different inflections of your voice and you'll have different cadence. For me, I know that sometimes my voice can be monotone. So it'll come off very flat. It doesn't go up or down a lot. Even if I'm excited, I'll just say, wow, I'm so excited. And people think that it's sarcastic because I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so excited. You know, it just doesn't come out like that. So I would say for you, you should really understand your voice and you should listen back and hear what your voice sounds like, because most people aren't going to hear their voice and be like, wow, I sound great and I love it. But you should listen back and think about ways in which you can improve your voice so that you still sound like yourself and you sound more professional. Or maybe if you want to sound more trendy, or maybe if you want to sound more passionate about a certain topic. So I would just encourage you to listen back to your voice, learn your voice, and then learn tricks to make your voice sound better. In reference to brainstorming ideas, like I said before, our show was talking about current events that are going on from the perspective of college seniors. So we really could talk about anything, but what I will say, one thing for brainstorming is that if you do have a co-host, it's a good idea for you all to come in with a list of your own ideas. Don't show up to a brainstorming session with no ideas, because then you all will sit there and think, well, we could do this, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do that. And then you just think, oh, we're gonna do that tomorrow. Then you get on air and it's 2 minutes worth of content and your show is 2 hours long. So what I would suggest is that you come in with 10 ideas, your co-hosts come in with 10 ideas, and then you go through each one. Of course, some not both people are going to agree with, but you should be able to make a thick list of maybe 15 different topics. So that way, once you go into your show, you can look at it and say, okay, today I think we need to talk about boom, 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 boom. That way, if you have 5 topics, you might not cover all 5, but then you'll have more topics that you can use for the future. It's better to have more content than less content, especially when you're live, because you never want to be live and you have to be thinking while you're talking, trying to think of a new idea, because then you're not paying attention to what you're saying, you're not paying attention to what your co-host is saying to you, and then you're just going to end up saying, well, yeah, like, let's go to commercial, you know, and then you're stressed during commercial break. So then commercial break, instead of it being relaxed and you being able to go get some water or check your phone or put your phone on live so you can record that way, you're rushing, busy trying to figure out what you want to talk about next, and it can be overwhelming. So just make sure that you have more than enough content going in. And then finally, I would honestly just suggest that you have fun. Right? So when you're live on air, you know people are listening. It can be a little intimidating at first, but that should be what's exciting, because you know all these people are tuning in to hear what you have to say. They're tuning in to listen to the songs that you're picking. So what I used to do was just think of some of my favorite songs at the time and play those. And then as I was playing them, I would be like, oh, this new Chris Brown song is great, but we're going to throw it back to the old Chris Brown. Or I'm from Chicago, so one day I had a Chicago marathon where I played all Chicago artists. So I played Kanye and Tink and Chief Keef and G Herbo and all these other people. That's the beauty of having your own show where you can create your own content. You're in control of it. That's my quick backstory as to how I was able to get my college radio show, and then a few quick tips about how you can hopefully go out, audition, and get your own show, and then brainstorm some great ideas, and so that way you can make some bomb content and have good listeners, a good viewership, and just knock it out the park. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if there are any other questions that you have or any other videos that you would like to see. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.